WDSU reporter Jasmine Franklin is in Roseland following the response. Jasmine, right now.
The massive explosion in Roseland forced dozens of residents to evacuate their homes, and now many of them are staying here at a local hotel, anxiously waiting to return back home.
And got to the neighbors and just start telling them, we got to go, let's evacuate, let's go, get out of here.
Longtime Roseland resident Darcy Garrett describes the moments he was asked to leave his home after a mandatory evacuation order was issued.
The mayor came around and told everybody we've got to evacuate because there's going to be smoke and oil coming in our area.
It was a close call seeking safety after a massive explosion at Smitty's Supply right next to his home. A large, dark cloud of smoke filled the sky and could be seen miles away as crews spent several hours battling the blaze.
My mind was really thinking about my home. We just taking it day by day.
Clara Kelly, along with more than 40 residents, spent Friday night at a nearby community center.
It was kind of overwhelming because, I'm not used to hearing all the noise, but I thank God that I had a roof over my head.
Although this isn't her typical weekend, she's grateful for assistance from American Red Cross.
On Saturdays, I'm relaxing and stuff, so, we can't relax like we want to relax and do things in our house, do things here like we want to do, but I'm just blessed that we are here.
A lot of questions. We know there's a lot of questions. We're working on the answers.
Parish leaders say the cause of the fire is still unclear and no injuries were reported, but hundreds of people are now without a job.
It is an incredible sight to see, and it's a devastating sight. We have 400 people from Tangelo Parish and the surrounding area that are trying to figure out where their livelihood is going to come from.
While residents remain optimistic, they will be able to return home soon.
We look forward to coming home soon, but as long as they're accommodating us, we're fine.
Parish leaders say they are checking nearby waterways for possible environmental impacts to wildlife. Reporting in Tangipahoa Parish, I'm Jasmine Franklin, WDSU News.
So you already know, on this channel we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will? And before we start this video, if you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. A large number of descendants of enslaved people live in Roseland, Louisiana. The town and the surrounding area have a deep, historically significant African American heritage stemming from the era of slavery. This legacy continues to shape the community today. Comparatively, nationally, the U.S. home ownership rate for black households was around 45.9% in late 2023. This suggests Roseland's black community may enjoy significantly higher relative home ownership than the national average for black households. Make that make sense? So y'all see the pattern, or am I tripping? And how ironic, Roseland, Louisiana is mostly black Americans and direct descendants of enslaved people. And this happened. Meet Louisiana, Roseland, Louisiana is mostly black people, and y'all don't find this suspicious? And it's crazy how in Louisiana, every chemical plant is in a black neighborhood. Make that make sense? And yes, the explosion was dangerous. That explosion was dangerous, but the aftermath will be even deadly. And they knew this. Run the tape.
Smoke continues to billow from Smitty's. State police and a local health expert urge residents to be mindful about possible health risks.
My head been hurting ever since.
Yes.
I sleep on a sleep app machine at night.
And I do too.
And my mom do too.
Some residents forced to evacuate their homes in Roseland say they are worried, not just about returning, but also about getting access to critical medication.
And right now I can't get my medication because I have a breathing problem.
Prostate cancer, stage 4. So I need to get my medicine.
Crews work to contain the fire that's caused soot and oily residue to fall on residents, vehicles, and homes. Dr. Brobson Lutz with the Orleans Medical Society says those who are immunocompromised are particularly at risk.
It's definitely a contamination problem. How dangerous it is yet to be determined, and it can be short-term effects. It's definitely an assault on the environment. It's an assault on people's homes, crops in the area. No doubt it's in the water. And not knowing what it is actually makes it a little bit more difficult.
At a Saturday news conference, state police remind residents to prioritize their health.
Residents should take precautions to limit their exposure, including staying indoors, When possible, avoiding unnecessary time outdoors in the affected area. Some health concerns or exposure concerns with that is going to be through either inhalation or ingestion. So residents are advised to wash hands frequently, avoid touching your face, your mouth, or after being outdoors, and minimize contact with the soot if you can.
Dr. Lutz agrees.
That's very good advice to stay inside, especially if you got an air conditioner. I think that would markedly decrease your chances of inhaling, especially the larger molecules and the oily substances.
He stresses that even healthy people need to take precautions.
A healthy person should avoid all these toxins and soot, just like the person with asthma or an impaired immune system. You don't want to be breathing these things in. If it's actual soot, a mask may provide some protection.
State police say if you have questions or concerns about the soot, you can contact Poison Control, and the hotline number is 1-800-222-1222.
While direct causation between a specific chemical plant explosion and widespread gentrification is complex to prove, industrial pollution and accidents have historically contributed to demographic shifts and displacement of Black and low-income residents in Louisiana. This process is known as environmental gentrification, where disasters can devalue properties in minority communities, creating opportunities for wealthier populations to move in. Historically and continuing today, discriminatory practices like redlining and exclusionary zoning laws have concentrated on poor and minority communities near polluted facilities. This practice, known as environmental racism, has turned some neighborhoods into sacrifice zones for the rest of society. Make that make sense. And I keep telling y'all over and over and over again, anything done to harm Black people in this country is never by mistake. It was bound to happen. After Hurricane Katrina, after they blew up those levees, they knew what they was doing. They gentrified New Orleans and they turned it into NOLA. And if you know, you know. And I have to say this, I feel like this was done on purpose to expand that plant and move Black people out of those neighborhoods on purpose. And in my comment section, if you feel like I'm reaching, if you feel like I'm tripping, let me know I'm tripping. And see, I told y'all, I see all the patterns. For example, the recent LA fires in Altadena, California, another Black community completely destroyed. And then we got the Great Mississippi Flood. We got Hurricane Betsy, Hurricane Katrina, over and over and over again. They attacked the Lower Ninth Ward. The Black community completely changed, completely destroyed by these people. And now we have this in Roseland, Louisiana. And guess who's going to suffer the most? The Black community. And guess, they already know what these chemical plants cause to our people. It's cancer. Check this out. Cancer Alley is heavily concentrated in and around historical Black neighborhoods in Louisiana, which is a prime example of environmental racism. This industrial corridor, located along Mississippi River between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, was built on or near the sites of former plantations. You get it? Plantations? The game is cold. And the descendants of the enslaved people who worked the land are now disproportionately exposed to toxic pollution. Make that make sense. So like I asked y'all earlier, do y'all see the patterns? All of this stuff is by design. And if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. And what makes me so angry, no one on YouTube is breaking this situation down. They act like they don't care about our people in A-Meat, Louisiana. They act like they don't care about our people in Roseland, Louisiana. Well, guess what? I know people in A-Meat, Louisiana. I know people that went to A-Meat High School. I know people in Roseland, Louisiana. And I give a damn, but I keep telling y'all, these people can care less about our people. They want our neighborhoods. They want our area. They want our culture. I keep telling y'all, the game is cold. And before I go, I have to say this. You had people say it was raining early. You had people say they couldn't breathe. You had people say they have headaches. So will the people in A-Meat, Louisiana get paid after this? Will the people in Roseland, Louisiana get paid after this? Because let's be real. You commit a crime in A-Meat, Louisiana, guess what? You either going to jail or you getting fined. Tell me I'm lying. So on this channel, we have to hold these racist companies, these racist Caucasians accountable, because if we don't, who will? And we have to always remind them to keep that same goddamn energy. Partner, I'm out.